cooking is a trade skill that a lot of people, I can make money anywhere in the world.
I never even thought of that.
It is a trade.
Oh, wow.
Right? So and I think trades are great, but whatever it is that you're going to do it with passion.
Yeah.
Don't do it for the money.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to like it. If it's not something you like, whatever it is, yes, the money might be great, but you're going to be miserable.
I saw a quote that said, it was like, working hard at something that you don't care about is called stress. Working hard for something you love is called passion.
Yep, called passion. And when you're doing it out of, this is what I want to do as a career, being an entrepreneur, whatever it is, you're doing it because you love it. It's so rewarding. But if you're doing it because, well, that paycheck, I'm getting 100,000. Okay, that's great, but you're miserable. I'd rather get 50,000 and be happy.
Yeah, 100%.
Than 100,000 and be miserable
Yeah.
and stressed and working like a mad person. Don't get it twisted. You think working for yourself, you're going to have regular hours? No. You actually work longer than if you work for someone else. But again, this is what I love to do, right? And this is my passion, and this is why I do what I love. And I enjoy cooking. I love sitting down and figuring out a menu with a new client and then executing it.
Welcome back to another episode of In We Blood, the podcast that's dedicated to helping to reignite an appreciation for Caribbean culture and traditions. Today, I'm here with Chef Kareema.
What up, yo?
If you're watching, you can see that we're kind of twinning.
Hello.
Which is exciting.
She's wearing In We Blood, and I'm wearing Chef Kareema.
And we both have on the blue denim.
Yes, and black socks.
Yes. So yeah, actually somebody recommended that you come on the podcast. Yeah. I don't remember exactly who it was, but a few months ago I put out a post on Instagram and I was saying like, hey, like who would you like to hear from? Who should I interview? And somebody was like, Chef Kareema, like you should have her. So I'm excited that we're having our full circle moment now where I get to talk to you. And when we were speaking earlier, one of the things that you said is that your mom had you cooking since the 80s.
Yes, she did.
So tell me a little bit about that and how you kind of got introduced into the culinary world.
Well, I tell the story, and being a child of the 70s, raised in the 80s and the 90s, we were latchkey kids. So back then, you could definitely just be like, go home, take the chicken out the freezer, do your schoolwork, make sure my sink clean, all the, the stuff that your parents tell you to do, and make sure this and make sure that. So it got to the point where I was like, you know what, I want to learn how to cook, because I could do little things, like make little things for myself, but I wanted to know how to cook. And besides just taking out the chicken, I wanted to learn how to season it and cook it. So my first thing to cook was stewed chicken.
Okay. And burnt sugar or brownie? Of
course.
Whoa. You know what I'm telling you right now, I said this last night. I said to my mom, I said, when I learn how to burn sugar, it's over.
No, man, you have to burn that sugar. I was like, ooh, it's a lot, because you got to time everything and make sure the sugar doesn't get too dark. And then when you put it in, it doesn't stick and caramelize and all these things. Yeah, it's a whole thing. So, but learning to do that and then going from learning to season and cook stewed chicken, she's like, oh, yeah, you're good now. Do curry chicken. So I seasoned it the same way I would season stewed chicken.
Yeah.
And I added like the soy sauce and all the not curry chicken ingredients.
Yeah.
So she's like, stop. Rinse it off and start again. So I'm like, okay. And then, so then from there, just all the stuff I like to cook, I was able to learn to cook it because I like to eat.
And so you were a young girl at that time.
Yeah, 10.
10 years old when you started cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And since then, I remember you said that you didn't always know that you wanted to be a chef. It just happened after you had your third child.
Yes. I was very headstrong in being an A&R in the music industry. Okay. Like I went to school. I was in school actually, and then I met my ex-husband and we got married. And so my third child now was like home. And before all that, all the get-togethers were pretty much at my place because I was like the only person that was living on their own, because I was a teenage parent, but I was always on my own. So all the gatherings, so everybody would potluck it, or there's always something happening at my place. And even though I was cooking for some of these things, I never thought. I went to Seneca. I took business 101. Still no thoughts on like being a chef. It wasn't until I got married and I was home and I was watching the Food Network back in year 2000 when it first came out. And I was watching Emeril Lagasse. And I'm like, I do this already. Why am I not doing this? So I found a school I could go to. And I went to culinary school. And here I am. I went to culinary school, did it. And then I started cooking. So since 2000, I've been a working chef. And 2014, there was a great program called OSEB that is no longer around. They need to bring that back because it's for small businesses, anybody with a business. If you can get into this program, they helped you start your business plan, website, all the good stuff. And that was a really great program. It helped me out. And I've been an entrepreneur since 2014.
Well, what are some of the key elements? Like if somebody is looking to, and obviously your specialty is like Caribbean fusion food. Yes. But if somebody is looking to kind of get started in that like chef or catering business, like what are some of the key things that they should be making sure that they have in place that maybe they might not be thinking about right now?
The first thing, even if you're not going to go to school, and you're going to be cooking for other people outside of your home, get your food handlers, because you need that. Just because you need it in Ontario to be able to, in Canada, to be able to cook, right, for other people, and insurance. So if you're going to sell the food handlers, insurance, because if anything happens, you don't want to have to pay out of your own pocket, because liability is a mother father. I ain't gonna cuss on your podcast. Mother, father.
I'm gonna use that one.
I didn't say father balls, you know.
Oh my gosh. No, but I never even considered that you would need to get insurance. Even if you're just like, even if you have like a small catering.
You should have it. You should definitely have it, because if anything happens, if anybody gets food poisoning or anything injured, anything off of your food, you want to be able to have insurance to cover that. You could start off as a sole proprietor, which is fine. But if you can incorporate, then your corporation is liable, not yourself. But you don't have to get all there first. If you're going to start with sole proprietor, figure out your life, learn as you go. I believe it's still you don't have to have a HST number till you make your first 30,000.
Yeah.
And then if you have a good accountant, they can guide you, show you QuickBooks, whatever. There's places that you can learn how to do all that other money part, the accounting part. But definitely you need insurance, and you're not going to get anything less than $2 million.
Wow.
So, and there's not a lot of places that do. So you have to really research on.
So what is it? What is it? Chef insurance, food handlers insurance?
No,
I don't know.
I'm not laughing at you. Catering and chef. So if you're a caterer, there's not a lot of companies that do catering insurance. I think there's like 4.
Okay.
But then if you're a restaurant, you can get insurance, right? So you can just call someone and see if they have the insurance. But you should definitely 100% get insurance.
Okay, so when we're starting out, we need to be sole proprietor or whatever. Maybe you might not register it right away because you don't need to do all that stuff until the first 30. Yeah, but keep
track of that.
Okay,
keep track of what you're making.
Okay,
and then you can see. Okay, well, no one's saying $30,001. Like you have to be making more than $30,000 a year.
Yeah.
To then talk to CRA, get your HST number, and then if you want to go from there to incorporate, you don't have to. A lot of people don't. I did because I wanted to say Inc.
That's not why Chef Kareema Inc.
But that's not why I just didn't want to have any. I got scared. I didn't want to have any liability.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Did you see any horror stories?
I've heard some. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've heard some not great ones, mostly in the States.
Okay.
But I've heard some not great stories of people getting real bad food poisoning. But then if that does happen, you can always trace it back to the source. So you could be cross-contaminating, which you should never do. You should never cut meat on the same board as
like raw vegetables.
Right. And just don't mix and match. Don't cross-contaminate. Don't do that. But but then it could be also the lettuce. It could be so look at cantaloupe right now. They have to recall that. So it not necessarily has to be you.
Yeah.
But until they trace the source back, better to be safe than sorry.
How does the source get? This is like a little bit. It's interesting to me. How does the source get traced back? Is that through the insurance?
Well, you should also know where you keep your receipts.
Okay.
So then if you can figure out what they got sick from, say it was the fruit salad, then you're like, okay, these are the fruits I purchased. This is where I purchased the fruits from. Then it goes back and back. Yeah,
you just think you're just cooking for people and selling.
No.
You can't. Sorry, before you can actually do all that, make sure you have your tail covered.
Yeah, pretty much. But when you start, you don't think like that.
Yeah,
I didn't think like that. No. I was just like, but because I went to culinary school, I had to think like that. That's why I had to get my food handlers. Because some people just start cooking. Like I was just cooking at home before I went to culinary school. And thank goodness no one ever got sick. But I also knew not to do certain things, right? But when you start, and if you don't know anything, you just start because you're just trying something. Yeah. And as you try and you learn and you make mistakes, and I still make mistakes, or there's something I don't know, I figure it out. You know what I mean? So if there's a recipe, you want to figure it out. You break down the recipe. You want to do a new thing. You got to break it down to figure out, okay, where am I going to go in this career or this business, right? So same thing as a recipe. You got to break it down into the ingredients, and then in the instructions, and part 1, part 2, part 3, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and then speaking of kind of like breaking down the career and stuff, I saw that you were on Cityline.
Yes, I was a few times.
Tell me a little bit about that experience, how that came about, and like what you were doing on there.
Cityline came about during COVID.
Okay.
So when it was really like shut down, everything was online.
Yeah.
Right. So I was I was invited to do Jerk Fest that year, and in being involved in Jerk Fest, Cityline was one of the broadcasters that showed some of the chefs, right? So I was able to do the showcase demonstrations on Jerk Fest, and then with that, Cityline reached out, and I did 1 or 2 during COVID, and then they invited me back again last year.
That means you're good to work with.
I was. Wasn't I, Tracy? Shout out to Tracy. Hi. Tracy Moore. And, and 2022 going into 2023. Yeah. And I did Jerk Fest also in 2022 live when everybody's back outside. And yeah, so that's how that came about. So thank you, Jerk Fest.
That's so cool.
And, all the people that were involved in it. Yeah.
That's nice. So is Jerk Fest something that you do yearly?
No. What I like about Jerk Fest, they get different chefs to do demonstrations and showcases. And then there's also vendors. So I did the demo.
Okay. Have you ever been a vendor at Jerk Fest or no?
No.
Okay. No. Okay. Sorry, it's just interesting to kind of know how it works.
No, being a vendor in those types of places, any festival, any food market, is a lot. If you're a food vendor, okay, right? It's different to a clothing vendor, which is different to a makeup vendor, which is different to desserts.
Because there's all the like safety handling. This has to say this has. You know how much? Listen, Chef Kareema, you know how much time I eat spile salad on the road. I'm like, yo, guys, like, why did you put the mayo in it?
Yeah,
already. Like, don't mix.
Do it. You don't, and really, yeah.
That's why I stopped buying food from vendors on certain days of the year, because I'm like, I already know this is gonna be some bootleggery. Just don't even. Yeah. You guys are serving macaroni salad. Don't put it on. Don't give me any. Don't give me any.
And if you are going to do that, again, food handlers, you have to make sure that you're keeping your food cold. What needs to be cold needs to be on ice. So if you're a vendor somewhere, the city comes out to make sure you have all your stuff properly. And if you don't have it, they're telling you to get out, eh? So go to licensed places. How are you going to know it's licensed? You don't, unless you ask somebody. But yeah, like all the Rip Fest, all those places, you have to have the proper, like, why are you selling coleslaw and macaroni salad and it's not in ice? Are you mad?
And I'm thinking of my horror stories, eh? You know, one time I called the city on a restaurant because I was like, you guys are trying to fucking kill people. Because there's no way.
We could cuss?
You had, I mean, I was like, there's no way you had me, my brother, and my man at the time well sick. I'm like,
3 people. Then that means a lot more people got sick. That's not good.
And I asked them, I was like, oh, like, did you guys make these patties? And I know it was the patties, eh? Did you guys make these patties? Like, yeah, we just made them. I'm like, okay.
No, they didn't.
Hello. You know the ones when you jump out of your bed at night? I was like, guy, what the hell? And I was like, I know it's not just that. I saw my brother, and I'm like, no. Whatever it's called with the you know how they do the safety check? I don't even think they got in touch with them. I was angry because I was like, what if I gave that to my son? He was 3 years old. I was like, what if I gave that to my son?
That wouldn't have been nice. That's no.
I was actually upset because I was like, there's no way that we as consumers are trusting you to serve us food.
That's why I don't do curry. On the road, I would never. Curry is very funny. Curry is very funny because especially if you're hungry, never eat curry when you're hungry. I learned that the hard way.
Never eat curry when you're hungry.
When not just hungry. Not
when you have gas?
Yeah. Yes.
When you're starved?
Yes. When your belly griping and eating you, don't do it because the acid in your stomach and then the curry will bind you up.
He'll give you bad gas?
Oh, gas? You're running.
Oh, they give you diarrhea?
You're running. And that's just off of your own stomach, much less if they don't keep it at the proper heat and all that stuff too.
Is it true that if they don't burn the curry, it'll give you the same problem?
Well, see, I don't know because not everyone burns curry. Some people burn it. Some people just cook it. Some people don't. So,
you know, you just got to risk it.
I do because I had a very nice curry roti yesterday, curry chana potato. Thank you, Island Foods.
I was gonna say, did you make it yourself?
No, not this time. I can, but thank you, Island Foods.
So, what's your specialty, like food that you say like this is the Chef Kareema specialty?
There's a few, but the Chef Kareema fusion specialty is the jerk chicken lasagna.
That sounds so good.
It's fire. It's fire. Right, people? It's fire.
Okay, so are you using chicken or are you using minced chicken?
Both. It depends on your price point. If you can afford the chicken breast, then you can get the chicken breast.
Wow.
If not, either one is great. But you know what's so funny? My jerk veggie is actually better than the jerk chicken.
Really?
And I'm not even into like...
Veggie lasagnas can actually be really good.
They can be. Some of them are hit and miss. But like... Mine's kind of fire.
I'm going to get your card later.
Yeah.
Because we eat a lot of like vegetarian type foods at our house. We were, plant-based vegan for a few years. It happened after I came back from Grenada and I was eating the meat in Grenada and I came back here and I ate the chicken here and I just remember gagging like, ugh. And I was like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. And for like 5 years, I was just done. Listen,
it's so sad.
The difference.
It's a huge difference because it's more free run out there. We went to, I was just in DR, but also I went to Curacao and Panama last year. And when I tell you, I had eggs.
That's the one, eh?
I had eggs, and the eggs were orange and beautiful. I took video of the egg yolks because they were beautiful. Yeah. And I'm like, I ate eggs every day.
Yeah, and you don't feel gross. You don't feel...
And I came back. It's only farmers market eggs I just buy now. I just buy $10
Listen, we
eggs.
Only buy the
10. Ma'am,
let me tell you, I'm in Loblaws with the $7.99 egg. I'm only buying the organic ones. After I went to Grenada,
organic, and it says pasteurized.
Okay. Wait, let me tell my story now. After I went to Grenada, and my grandmother's sister, so like my great aunt, she has fall. So she just gets the eggs from the fall and it's brown eggs. And when I was eating the eggs there, I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't taste fresh and nasty like the eggs we had. For the longest time as a child, I did not like eggs. And then after when we came back, I was like, listen, we need to start trying to buy whatever eggs could kind of match up to that don't have that fresh.
Yep.
So ever since then, it's been maybe like since 2017, we've just been buying those organics.
Listen, $7.99. The other day, I bought a dozen eggs for $9.99.
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen, don't touch my eggs.
Yeah. Listen, when the eggs are in the fridge now and I see them going down, I'm looking around at people
like, who's eating my eggs?
Yeah, where are you guys boxing up for the eggs, guy? Like
buy back more eggs.
Go eat the Costco ones. You guys go get the Costco eggs.
$3.79 eggs. Get out. But it's a big difference. Big, huge. And the meat was so, because down there it's grass fed. And when I tell you, I ate some beef, ribeye. If it fall, listen, I probably like 3 times. No. It was so good.
It's a big difference.
And even when here, you got to know where to shop. And I try to stick to halal.
Yeah, me too.
Halal or kosher, because it's...
You can taste the difference.
You can taste... It's a big difference.
Yeah.
It's because the way they drain the blood. And then also, I don't know if it's just the draining of the blood or if they, the blessing.
Praise. Probably both. But hopefully, but there is a difference to regular. But then it's also a difference if it's free run as well. And then it's a difference if it's grass fed. That's why sometimes I'm like, yo, do they have organic halal free run?
Yeah, they do.
Organic halal free run?
Yeah.
Yeah, that has to be like $50.
Yeah, it is. It's expensive. But they do have it.
Okay, that's good to know. See, that sounds like the kind of meat that we need to be really eating, because I'm telling you, all these other whatever kinds.
There's not many farmers as there used to be. It's more industrial, right?
True.
So when the industry comes into it, and then it's like, well, you got to do it like this and do it like this and do it like this. Well,
because it's about like the profit and maximizing.
It is.
Yeah, so it's a different story. But
exactly.
Speaking about what you were saying about when you went to Dominican and Curacao and your like the meat, you could taste the difference. The last day before I left Grenada, again, the same, my grandmother's sister, so remember she has the fowl with the eggs, but then she also has on the other side of the cage, she has the fowl for eating. So she killed a fowl that day for us to eat, and it tasted I was like, so when the meat's fresh like this, how the meat is tender?
Yes.
The meat is just...
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah. 100%.
Big difference. And that was the first time I ever seen a chicken, like, just the whole thing up to the neck.
I could do it. I don't want to do it, but I could do it.
Foot, everything.
Okay, stop. So gross. Stop it.
And I was looking at it in the kitchen. I was like, but then when I tasted it, I was like, wow, this is really nice.
Yeah, it's delicious. And then, it's a lot. I try to balance it out. Like today, yesterday I had curry chana and potato. Today I had curry goat.
Okay.
So then I'm just having salad for the rest of the day.
Okay. Tomorrow's
probably just going to be veggies.
So other than the jerk chicken lasagna, what are some of your other specialties?
Oh, there's so many. My cornbread is fire.
Okay.
My red velvet waffles, a chicken. Fire. Now, if you're asking what my favorite meal is to make.
Okay.
Is Trinidadian Sunday dinner.
So that's stewed chicken and macaroni pie?
You just stop in there. Stewed chicken, macaroni pie, callaloo. You have to have your potato salad. Mm-hmm. And if you're doing like a big spread, you have to have your roast beef, your fish, your dumpling.
All on one plate?
Well, it's a spread.
Okay, so that's like a Thanksgiving, like a Christmas.
That's exactly. But just regular Sunday dinner, stew peas, chicken, macaroni pie, callaloo, and a salad.
That sounds so good.
That's my favorite. Like, that's my last meal. Please, can I have that, please?
Yeah, and make sure it's with the anchor cheese, right?
Hello. But you can't, it's hard to get that here.
Canada does not import dairy.
No.
That's why we don't have that cheese here. Because my cousin in the States, they want to know why I make such a big deal about the anchor cheese. It's like, guy, we don't have that here. We can't. She's like, you can't just go in the curd. I'm like, no.
And if you do, it's a sneak thing.
Of course, you're wrapping that up in a towel.
So it's just Old Fort cheese. I don't know why I said Old Fort, because that's how my mom grew. Go get the Old Fort cheddar. But mommy, old is Fort. She's like, I'm not from
because
here.
It's the French.
Old Fort. I'm from Trinidad. I calling it Old Fort.
That's so funny.
So yeah, if you use the old Fort.
Okay.
It's closest.
Okay.
But then now, my fancy so I have 4 cheese, 5 cheese, right? I have Gouda, cheddar.
That sounds like an expensive pie, Olio.
Gouda, cheddar, mozzarella for the stringiness.
Yeah.
Sometimes fresh parm, like fresh parm.
This is gourmet macaroni pie.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And then I fancy it up with like something else. Like I pick a smoked cheddar or jalapeno. Yeah, man.
That's what happens when you've been cooking since the 80s.
Yeah. Since the 80s, yeah. Oh, speaking of, I'll be 50 on the 13th. Thank you.
Oh,
I don't know when this is airing, so February 13th.
Why should I look good?
Well, thank you.
Happy birthday in advance.
Thank you.
That's exciting. Yeah, like, I don't know. I think it's interesting to kind of hear that you were cooking since you were so young. And obviously a lot of your foods are Caribbean fusion, very much inspired, I guess, by your late mother. Mm-hmm. How would you say, like, if there's any other reasons kind of like your Caribbean upbringing inspired the food that you cook now?
Thankfully, my mom didn't have a Trinidadian palate.
Okay.
Which is, I only eat Trinidadian food. I only eat Grenadian food. I only eat Jamaican food. Thank God. Thank you. That she had a palate for other foods.
Okay.
Hence why I like to fuse a lot of my food because like real Chinese, like real Italian, like real Indian, like to the point where I have the cookbooks. Some of them she purchased for me, like the real breakdown, the 50 curries of India kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
There's 50 curries.
I have no idea.
That's the one I have. So me want Indian people to come in. There's more than 50. But that's the one I have. Right? So yeah, so thankfully she was able to show me different ways to cook and then took me out to these restaurants to try some of the food. Some of them I didn't. I'm not a duck fan.
Okay.
I eat chicken though.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
But see, I grew up eating chicken. She wanted to introduce me to duck at 20. I'm like, no.
Oh, okay.
No, thank you. I'm not eating that. If you wanted me to eat it, you should have showed me it when I was 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are things that I have tried, outside of that. I was raised Muslim, so I never had pork. So
okay.
I could cook pork, but I don't.
Okay. But you still offer it on your catering menu?
Heck no.
Oh, okay. I was like...
That's extra. If you want pork, it's a one side. Kareema, you're making jerk pork? I can.
Okay.
You can make ribs, I can, but it's not on my menu, no.
Okay,
no.
okay. So is your menu halal?
Yes.
Oh, that's so nice. I know you were saying that you do get like the halal chicken, but that's so good to know.
Halal beef, goat.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Chef.
Yeah.
Where can we find you? So like, let us know.
Hello on the World Wide Web. Some people don't know what that www stands for.
Yeah, World Wide Web.
No, there's people that don't know that.
You just told them.
You're welcome. On Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, email.
So if we want to get like a halal order of any, I'm going to tell my mom after.
Yeah. You can hit me up. You have my number.
Yeah, I do have your number, but now I'm like extra excited.
Yeah.
Because you're cooking wheating, even the eggs.
Yes.
Like you get it.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, one second. I'm
marshmallows, all that stuff. I get halal marshmallows. You got to go halal store for that. Or kosher store.
Oh, because it has gelatin.
Yeah. It never used to have gelatin. When they first started making marshmallows, the history of marshmallows never used to have gelatin. And then they found a way to make it stretch and last longer. Gelatin, apparently, in the marshmallows, I don't know. Something like that. Yeah.
That's why I know my mom, when she buys like it's like a gelatin, a thing that you scoop out. It doesn't have the gelatin. That was when we were making s'mores one time with my younger siblings. So one of the things that you said when we were talking is that you opened up a restaurant at one point, but it didn't end up working out the way that you wanted it to. So what is some advice that you would maybe give to somebody who's thinking of transitioning from catering to restaurateuring?
So I was managing a restaurant years ago.
Okay.
With a couple other people. That was actually the first experience. It was pretty cool. We ran it like it was ours. Like we ran that. And that was in Scarborough. Then I opened up another one. I opened up one myself in Scarborough again. And that lasted about a year. It was pretty cool. Different experience. The location was not the best location for foot traffic. So if you knew I was there, you come. Oh. So that was a different type of experience.
So like make sure.
So location.
Yeah.
Right. And then when I opened up during COVID, I had a great spot.
Okay.
It's still a great spot. Dundas and Jarvis. Okay. But it's Dundas and Jarvis.
Why? What goes on? What's happening over there?
Oh. Okay. So they're rejuvenating it.
Oh, okay.
Gentrifying it. Yeah. Which is great. Mm-hmm. But it's an area where there's halfway houses and places.
Okay.
Right? And then there's a lot of drug drug addicts, whether they're homeless or not. Go down the street a little bit more, a lot of homeless. And then even more so because a lot of people lost their jobs and or whatever during COVID. So it was a lot more homeless people at that time. So it was a great location. And when everything is all said and done, it's going to be like a great spot. Like even after I left, and I'll go back to what happened, like someone else went there and they're not even there anymore. And they have like 4 locations and they couldn't even sustain to stay there. So while I was there, I was vandalized twice in 2 days. Before that, someone stole my the POS tablet. Crackheads would run in and try to do the crack in the washroom.
What?
I know the difference between feces now, between human and animal. Yeah, it's great times. I can laugh about it now. Look at your face. I can laugh about it now, but I was hurt.
Yeah.
I was hurt, especially when they vandalized. It was a Saturday, and I came and I was like, okay, somebody was on meth and he was just going around smashing everything. And then I stayed open that day and I'm closed on Sundays. So one of my customers said, "Oh, you got vandalized?" I'm like, yeah. They thinged the door. She's like, no. Again. I was like, I went down there. Windows were smashed. It was a whole thing. It was very hurtful. It was very hurtful for a long time. I stuck it out because I was like spring, and I stuck it out until like the end. Like I was going into my 1 year. I'm like, I can't. There was just too many things happening. My heart was hurt. I was hurt.
Yeah, because like your business is like your baby and like an extension of yourself.
I was hurt.
Yeah.
I'm better now. But I was hurt for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. So just be like, if you want to open up a restaurant, just be very mindful of the location.
But you don't know. You don't know until you're there, right?
Well, maybe you can kind of go and immerse yourself in it a little bit first and kind of see what the vibes is.
But that's what the other person that went there after. And like I said, they have 4 locations and they went there and it didn't work for them either. So I don't know. But yes, that's location, like when they say in business, location. Yes, that is true. But then it also, I don't know. It
but like
depends.
Location is more than just like, the location is also the environment. Around it too.
Like I said, in a few years, the location might be better.
Yeah.
At that time, no bueno.
And even after, still.
Because I went to those people's restaurant, different locations, and I'm like,
yeah, okay.
So, but it you have to have to be in any form of a business, not just restaurant or chef. You have to definitely be passionate about it,
and you also have to have an appetite for risk, pun intended.
Yes, you. The appetite. Yes, you do. You have to be able to do that. Like I went in and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I still do that now. Not that I don't know what I'm doing. Like I just take chances on myself. Like I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. And I believe it's going to happen.
And then you ended up on Cityline multiple times. Cityline, for maybe people who don't know, is like a television show here in Toronto. But yeah, it's exciting to kind of hear about your journey, about how you never knew that you would be a chef. Not even a little bit. But it's like you were raised in it. Right? But I still didn't know. Sometimes we can't see what's right in front of our face. Not even. Nope. Not even. And even when, like, I didn't, this year will be 10 years of me being an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. And I'll be 50. So when I was 38 is when I was kind of dabbling in it. I tried it. And I was like, It was really 38, 39 when I said, just go for it. But at 30, I'm like, I can't. I have 4 children. I have to be able to look after my kids and stuff. And then 8 years later, I'm like, I still have 4 children. I still have to look after them. So you have to really believe and don't let little things. I'm sorry, it's not little, because having children is huge. And if you're going to take a risk and have to believe in yourself and go from making your money every 2 weeks to, I don't know where it'll come from. It's hard. It was not easy. And that's just me. And I know other people that have their fashion, they're in toiletries, they're in jewelry. It's not an easy thing to do.
So if you could still keep a job while you're figuring out your full-time, like your entrepreneurial dreams, I would say keep a job. I didn't want to. It was too much to work full-time.
Because you're also a mother.
And I'm mom.
That is a 24/7 job.
Exactly. And it's a lot. So I had to figure, I'm like, what am I going to do now? And I was like, damn it. Then someone told me about this program, like I told you about, and I was able to get into that program, and it changed my life pretty much. Like again, this year, July will be 10 years of me being a full-time entrepreneur.
So that program really helped to set the foundation. They need to
bring that stuff back. OSEB. Hello. Bring it back. Ontario Small Something Businesses.
Okay. I wonder if they have another program or something. It's
not the same.
No.
It's there's second careers.
Okay.
But OSEB was a whole thing by itself.
Okay.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Okay.
And different, like anyone could get into it. Well, not anyone. You had to like audition for it pretty much.
Okay.
You weren't just getting in, like you had to like.
Because this is for people who are serious.
Yeah.
Okay.
You had to apply.
Yeah.
And then you had to like literally go in front of like a panel and say why.
Usually, so that was a free program?
Oh, no. Sorry. Yes, it was free, but they also helped you. They so whatever money you made in the 42 weeks of your business in the program, you got to keep, and they also gave you income because you're there all day. It's like it was a full day.
Okay, yeah. So usually when they make you take all those steps, it's because like this is a real, like, we're gonna help you. We're helping you. We don't want time wasters.
Yeah. It was great.
Okay.
And I think it lasted another 3 years after, but it was around for a while. And I'm so grateful I got into it.
Me too, or else we wouldn't be here right now chatting.
We probably would be, but it'd be different.
Yeah, sorry, you're right. Everything would have still happened.
Yes, it would have, because I'm kind of amazing.
Yeah, and I think having faith is kind of a big part of anything. For me, I always say, I talk about God all the time on my podcast. I feel like when you don't have God kind of as like the lead or as the center of anything that you're doing, it just makes everything so much harder.
Yes, and that's true. I was just talking to someone yesterday, and I was getting my hair done. And yes, it's God, but also some people call him Buddha. Some people call, you just have to have faith in whatever faith that you're in. Yeah. And even if the faith is the trees and the grass, have faith in it and believe it and be positive and pray and believe. Yeah. Because once you pray and believe and you have to work with it too. You can't just be like, I pray for this to happen.
Faith without works is dead.
Because it's not going to happen. Like no one's just going to just be like, hello, you have to work for it too. So you have to make sure that you have that and pretty much it'll come. You don't know when it's coming.
Exactly.
But it's going to come. Like when I had to shut down the restaurant, I was saddened for a while. I don't want to say I was depressed because I wasn't. I was very sad though. Yeah. And I'm just like, ugh. So it was October and my birthday's February. Yeah. By January, mid-January, I'm like, listen, gotta snap out of this nonsense because, and I had to snap out of it and get back to praying properly and writing out in my journal what it is that I need and want and how I want to do it and what's going to happen and blah, 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 and break it down.
Speaking of breaking it down, you know what I started doing that you actually taught me? When you said that you're like, when you're noting down the days of the year, whatever goals you have, like you're putting day 26 out of 365. I started doing that and it's like, it shifts your brain.
It does. Like today is day 30.
That's what I put on my thing today.
So now next week, as of Thursday's the 1st of February. So that'll be day 32. Yeah. Day 40, day thing. Yeah. And then I saw it and they said, do it right. Say what you want for the whole year, but then break it down into quarters. Yeah. And then I said, let me break it down into days. Yeah. Like today, I broke down my whole thing that I have to do today. And on there was podcast at 2:00.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's actually such a helpful tip because I heard the thing too about breaking the year down into quarters rather than just the whole year. Cause then you put the fire under your tail to like get really things done. Yeah. But just seeing that, okay, this is day 30 out of 365. This is day 32 out of 3.
Yeah.
Because we're so conditioned to think like, okay, it's day 1 of this month, but it's like, no, like this is day 60.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, what did you do?
Yeah.
Like when I go back into my journal for last year, I could see all the things that transpired. Like last year was amazing. I had a great year last year. Like, I mean, great.
Yeah.
So good. But now I said, this year is going to be better than last year.
Yeah.
Tenfold.
Okay.
So then you add on, and so whatever you think you want to do, tenfold that. 10 times that. So if you want this podcast, 10 times that. Like, how do you really want it? Whatever that is, 10 times that.
Okay.
You know, and write it down. How do you really want this podcast to be? Where do you want to and I don't like when people say, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I don't know. Where do you see yourself tomorrow?
Yeah.
Maybe next week. And then dream for next year. Maybe 2 years. Because in 5 years, so much can change. Like
5 years ago, I would have never seen myself doing any of the stuff that I'm doing now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and imagine 5 years ago was 2019. And then COVID happened.
That just like glitched everybody. That was like a 2 years.
Guy, it was ridiculous. Like so speaking of that, 2014 is when I became an entrepreneur. And they say it takes about 5 years to 3 to 5 years to like really see your business come to life. 2018, 2019. What? When I tell you, I was able to save money. I was able to see my business. Chef Kareema and Kareema, Chef Kareema Inc. and then Kareema was doing pretty old. Kareema's bank account was getting paid. I pay myself for my business. I was able to pay things. When I tell you March 11th, 2020 came, I was like, what is happening? I have like 5 caterings. And then everything just shut.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, whatever. I'll be okay. And then I started volunteering with the Jamaican Canadian Association. Shout out to them. We did some great stuff for like 7.5 months. Nice. But in that, I was like, okay, people are home. I'm not going to really push or, promote anything. People call me up. They're like, are you catering still? Like doing deliveries? I'm like, aren't you home? I don't want to cook. I was like, really? So I called up some people. I asked questions like, are you going to I'm like, oh, so you all really don't want to cook? Girl.
Let me make our money, yes?
Let me tell you, I started back doing my deliveries because I used to do just on the weekends, but then I did it during the week. And I was able to still do what I love and survive.
Yeah.
And so thank you, but not thank you because it was different.
But it kind of shows you about like the power of being able to pivot.
Yes.
And needing to pivot in your business.
You have to be able to pivot because if you don't know how to do that.
Because the environment, the landscape is always changing.
Always. And that really showed us what we could do as humanity too, right? As a people, as in anything that you're in. Like businesses, people start to work from home.
Yeah.
When 10 years ago, oh, you can't work remotely. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Why can't you? If they're getting the work done, why can't they work remotely? Right? And then with the food, it's food, so it's literally a necessity. So, I was able to go purchase these things that some people didn't want to and cook for them and bring them their food, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it worked out for me as a chef and my customers,
What would you say is next for Chef Kareema Inc. or Chef Kareema? Chef
Kareema is a lot. I'm writing it down. Like I said, this 2024 is going to be a better year. So last year, I was 49. So last year, I outlived both of my parents officially.
Okay.
My mom passed at 48. My dad at 46. So when I saw 49, when I tell you the grace and the favor that was bestowed upon me,
wow.
I promise you it was my mother.
That?
I promise you it was my mom. Promise you. Right? So now I'm going to see 50. And I'm just like, that's why I know that 2024 is going to be even better. It's very somber and beautiful at the same time. I miss my mom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh,
Yeah.
Turning 50 is, this is huge.
Yeah.
It's huge for me. Like, I have an older brother, so he's 54 now. So when he turned 50, it was huge for him. Like, now I'm seeing it, you know? So I'm grateful that I get to see this age, and that my mother would be very proud.
Yeah.
And I say all the time, all that I do is for my children first, and for my mom, and for the community. And so what's next for Chef Kareema? A lot. I don't know specifically yet. I'm writing it all out. Okay, I shouldn't say I don't know. I do know. But
just not telling you guys yet, because I don't want nobody imitating.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So there are things that I'm putting into place in memory of her.
Yeah.
And then in legacy of her and for my children. And I'm very big on community, and I want to be able to leave something that is life, even after life. That there's something here that, Chef Kareema Inc. was here.
You know, it'd be so cool. I always think about these kinds of things. Like, if there was like, and I know you already have your own ideas, so sometimes it feels weird when people push their thing, but just sometimes it's cool when there's like a scholarship or something. Yeah. If there's like a culinary school scholarship specifically for whatever community that, like, this is the Chef Kareema scholarship if you want to go to culinary school or whatever. You know,
there was a time when I was living in Oakville, when I was dabbling part-time doing, I had I can cook, Chef Kareema I can cook for, like, and it was very hard to get it into the high schools.
Okay.
Like, I'm like, you guys don't have to pay for anything. Can I just put the flyers up? Oh, why? For the kids to apply, so then they could learn something from chefs, and had it judged and everything. I did it for 2 years. It was really hard. So that's when I didn't know what I was doing. I'm just like, I'm gonna do something.
Exactly.
I'll figure it out.
I know that's right.
But yeah, definitely that is on the calendar of things to bring back. And that is. There are some things that like that. I want to do more in class teaching, especially with children and youth, because not everybody wants to be a basketball player, not everyone wants to be a rapper, not everybody wants to be a doctor. You know what I mean? Cooking is a trade skill that a lot of people I can make money anywhere in the world.
Oh, I never even thought of that.
It's a trade. It is a trade.
Oh, wow.
Right. So and I think trades are great. Plumbing, electrician.
Yes, they are.
Drywalling.
Yes, they are.
If you can do those things, you'll always have a job.
It's true.
Because there's some things that the robots can't do. Well, at least not yet. Right? And so, you know what I mean? So trades are really good. If you're into careers, then go for that. You know what I mean? But whatever it is that you're going to do it with passion.
Yeah.
Don't do it for the money.
Yeah. Because
you're not going to like it. If it's not something you like, whatever it is, yes, the money might be great.
Yeah.
But you're going to be miserable.
I saw a quote that said, it was like, working hard at something that you don't care about is called stress. Working hard for something you love is called passion.
Yep. Called passion. And when you're doing it out of, this is what I want to do as a career, as a being an entrepreneur, whatever it is, you're doing it because you love it. It's so rewarding. But if you're doing it because, well, that paycheck, I'm getting 100,000. Okay, that's great, but you're miserable.
Yeah.
I'd rather get 50,000 and be happy.
Yeah, 100%.
Than 100,000 and be miserable and stressed and working like a mad person. Don't get it twisted. You think working for yourself, you're gonna have regular hours? No, you actually work longer than if you work for someone else. But again, this is what I love to do, right? And this is my passion, and this is why I do what I love, and I enjoy it, right? I enjoy cooking. I love sitting down and figuring out a menu with a new client, and then executing it.
You know, it would be so cool. Like, I'm starting to think about the ways that I can do in like, as I grow in We Blood, like I don't want it to just be a podcast. I want there to be an opportunity for people to interact with In We Blood in a tangible and in-person way. One of the things that I was thinking about was having like a cooking workshop.
Yeah.
And I love children, and I have never thought about having like a cooking workshop for kids. But imagine if it was like Chef Kareema X In We Blood, learn how to make curry chicken or stewed chicken, and
Exactly.
like, yeah, so it would just be really cool to have a workshop or something like, for kids. And you know, as I continue to grow my platform, and I know you've already done something like this before, it would be cool to have something.
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually doing something, a couple for Black History Month in
no way.
a couple schools.
That's
in Halton.
so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so where can people find you if they want to get your delicious food?
You can find me first and foremost on Instagram. So I am Chef Kareema. You can email me at the Chef Kareema at gmail.com. Where else? LinkedIn.
I don't know. Wherever's best.
You can just find me.
Yeah, thank you.
Somebody
so
you know
much.
me.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
For
I
chatting
appreciate
with
it.
me.
Yeah, no problem. I love it, and I'm so proud of you. So keep this going.
Thank
No, this
you
is
so
great.
much.
And We Blood is this is really good.
Thank
you to whoever suggested me to you. I appreciate it. But yeah, so I am Chef Kareema.
Yeah, thank you, Chef Kareema.
Thank you.